Good evening, Interpeas. How are you doing today? I hope you had a pleasant weekend. Scott, good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. Kathy Jones, good evening. How good to be here. Good. Good. Love Me Like Music 7. Hello, and welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. What up, Bogey? My cat is walking around. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. They're right there. Right there. This is Bogey. Everybody, this is Bogey. He's not a really happy cat when I pick him up. He doesn't like to be picked up. Nice kitty. Nice kitty. Yeah. There you go. Scary Nona. Good evening. First time in a long time. Well, I'm glad you could be here for Music Trivia tonight. I love music. And perfect. Good evening. Karen, good evening and welcome. I hope everybody had a great weekend, relaxing. It's been a strange times we live in. This week hasn't been any different. Tina Hansen, hello from Maine. Hello, Broken Justice. Good evening, sweetheart. Sis Boomba, Wisconsin in the house. How's the weather in your neck of the woods of Wisconsin? I wish I was there, but I'm not. I'm not. Love the state though. I will. I hope you are well. I'm doing pretty good, Samantha. I swear I'm in the twilight zone in my neighborhood. It's 6 lousy degrees. Yeah. I'd rather it be six, lousy degrees than, -6. So there's that. It's all depends on how you look at it. I'm more used to the colder climate, weather. I know how to live in it. A lot of the people where a large majority of the people are from warmer states. California, New Mexico, and then Texas and stuff like that. Very few people here are from cold weather states, so whenever it snows even a quarter of an inch, here, people freak out. So, where are you reading me from? Sis Boom Ba. I live in Washington State right now. I've been here for 25 years. I was born in Wisconsin in Prescott, and I lived in the Prescott area along with Madison and Milwaukee. And on top of that, I lived in the Twin Cities. So I got family all over in Minnesota. I'm originally from Texas. Texas, nice state. I got a lot of friends who've moved to Texas. They've transplanted there from California or from Washington State. They've moved to either Austin or the Galveston area. It's nice there. Hopefully this summer, if everything goes right, we don't have any more, new coronavirus strains that, locks down the country again. Hopefully I'll be able to go visit my friends in person. Otherwise, the only way I've been able to keep in touch with anybody has been by, Zoom. It's ice that's bad to drive in, way worse than snow. Yeah, that's true. In the state of Texas, where I live in Washington State, Sis Boomba, the climate here is pretty close to the climate of Texas. Um, it's I live in what's called a semi-desert. Um, we have cactuses, but we don't have like giant cactuses like sorrows. But we have a lot of sagebrush, sand, dirt, very few trees. The only places you really find trees, areas that are um, near water, because we're in between I'm in between the Cascade Mountains and the Rockies. So the weather pattern comes up over the top of one mountain range and then goes over the other one and never gets a chance to settle down into the valley area where we are. Patricia, I'm from New Mexico, USA. New Mexico is pretty. I haven't been there in quite a few years. But very nice there. Your reception is a bit sketchy. I'm sorry. You have missing Oakley Carlson, Washington State. So heartbreaking. Yeah. Your sister lives in Bend, Oregon. Climate is similar to yours. My father-in-law uh, lives in Bend, Oregon. It's very nice. He used to live in Eugene, Oregon, but he moved to Bend. Property is a lot cheaper than in Eugene. All right, well, let's get this party going. My heart lives in America. Oh, Samantha your heart is wherever you are. I mean, we can all be born somewhere. We have to make the best of where we are, though, in the situations that we live in. People here in the East Coast don't pronounce Oregon correctly. Oh, yeah, it's a quick little side note on that. When I was in high school and we were moving from Minnesota to Washington State, I had a teacher who actually swore up and down that there was no Washington State, that the state actually once the Washington Territory was dissolved and they made the West Coast. He said that the West Coast of the United States was Oregon, California, that there was no Washington State because the territory was no longer around. That was an actual high school teacher. And I just walked up and I pulled the map down in the classroom. Yeah, there's something that you don't even have in classrooms anymore. Maps? What are those? And I'm like, hey, look there, Washington State. Even said Washington, he thought I was moving to DC or Egon. And we get people right here in my city when they pronounce it Oregon, GEN, instead of gone, GON. They pronounce it with an E sound in there. We get a lot of those here. Or E-gin, or GIN, like gin, like gin. You have maps in your classroom? And maybe it's just here. None of the classrooms here And any of the school systems here have maps. They all have whiteboard technology. All the classrooms, the smart boards. So, all right, let's get on to the first question for tonight. No, this is the first screen. All right, there's 20 questions on the music trivia. All multiple choice. Answers will be provided on the screen. A question, so the possible answers, and one question is worth I believe it's worth $40 tonight if somebody gets it right. You have 5 minutes to actually get the question right. You can use Google, phone a friend, anything that you can think of, come up with the answer. Everybody gets 5 minutes. So we moved here from Beaverton in Vancouver, Washington. Vancouver's pretty. I had a lot of friends who used to live there. They've all since moved though, but I like Vancouver. They moved when the meth epidemic, the Portland or Vancouver area. They're like, that's it, we're done. So, all right, let's go on to the first question for tonight. If I can get my stupid cursor over to the page. All right, first question tonight. Finish the song lyrics. You, a mortal man, and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll. And roll just like a Pied Piper leads rats through the streets. We dance like marionettes. Which one of these is the next line to this song? Mary? Well, thank you, sweetheart. I borrowed a vowel. So you answer either A or D. I'll take. I suck at trivia for 200, please. Good evening, Lisa. Lang, good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. Question number 1 is finish the song lyrics. What is the next sentence to complete this song lyric? I'm currently painting galaxies for my grandson's bedroom. Oh, cool. E, Pat, I'll buy a vowel. Tina has no idea. Tina guessed D, but no idea. LOL. Swaying to madness of destruction. I did something like that. Not with the galaxies, but I painted in my niece's bedroom at her mom's house. When she was I think she was like 6 or 7. I painted the night sky on the ceiling with the moon and the stars on the ceiling in her room. Then when she got older, she wanted the sun. So the light fixture in the bedroom is in the center of the room. So I painted a giant sun on the ceiling. Still there to this day. It's going to be very hard to get rid of it. All right, the correct answer to the first question is B, as in boy. Explain. B as in boy. Swaying to the symphony of destruction. All right, question 2. Who was awarded the very first official gold record, that should be by, not BT, by Recording Artists of America? Who was awarded the first official gold record by the Recording Artists of America? Was it A, Elvis Presley, B, the Beatles, C, Perry Como, or D, Frank Sinatra? Especially since the stores now sell glow in the dark stars that you can stick on walls and ceilings. That's cool. We did that. We bought like stick on moons. They're like little jellies that glow in the dark for my son's room, but they don't last very long. They didn't even last a year before they stopped losing, the ability to glow in the dark. I'm sure there are other ones out there that are better, but love me like music says C. Mary's going with D. I'm only going to answer one. I know, without Google. You can answer whatever you would like, Sis Pumbaa. Scout Inquirer, good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. Is guessing A for Elvis Presley, who was awarded the very first gold record by the Recording Artists of America. Question number 2. They also have glow in the dark paint too. You can paint the stars with that when they die. Huh. We've never tried actually painting the stars on for my son's room. Might be something to look into. I wonder how much long, how long the paint would last versus, it's got to be safe too. Paint, safe paint. Don't want them eating it. It's getting known as going with Perry Como. Good evening, Brooks. Welcome to Music Trivia. I'm still trying to add myself to the corner here. There it is. There I am. I'm in the little picture. Whoop, whoop. I'm still here. Who was awarded the very first official gold record by the Recording Artists of America? I've only used a glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint. Once it was in a scenery painting. I wasn't impressed for that usage. They now have super bright glow paint. I'll have to look it up. Look how long it lasts. Yeah, that's the thing is, I want it to last, but at the same time, if you want to take it off, or paint over it, some of those paints, though, you have to use like Kills and something else to cover over it, because children's, desires to, want something different in their room. I mean, by the time my son's a teenager, he isn't going to want, the design of the walls that he has now. So with the jellies and the stick-on little shapes, like stars and moons and stuff. I mean, yeah, they glow in the dark for a little bit and they last about a year, but it's not permanent as much as paint. So, all right, who was awarded the very first official gold record? The correct answer is C, as in cat. Perry Como. Before Perry Como was awarded the first official gold record, there had been multiple different awards that were like that for to commemorative items where they painted records and actually record right out of a record jacket, painted it gold or silver or white or whatever, and then put it in a frame. But there was never anything that was actually recognized by the American recording artist that was like, hey, this is you just made 1 million, 2 million, or 10 million sales. There wasn't an actual award. After they started doing, after Perry Como, the very first official one, there still are like the records that you'll see, like pick a record artist of today, like let's take Britney Spears for example. She may have a platinum record on her wall of oops, did it again or whatever her stupid music is. Sorry if you're a fan, I'm just picking on her. But that is not an official recognized record by the American recording artist. That's something that the someone, either her management or the record label themselves, made for the artist. They're not necessarily an official item of the American recording artist. Where the ones that are presented by the American recording artists are a full-size record, even if they had CDs. They still try to put together a plaque, a presentation award for them. So, but there are a lot of different companies out there that actually make them. Heck, you can buy a YouTube award. There are companies out there where you just log on for $400. You can get the same, the million subscriber plaque and put it in the background. For a couple $1,000, you can buy yourself one of the Ruby Awards, of 40 million subscribers, and you can also buy yourself 40 million subscribers. It's against the rules, but you can do it. People do it all the time. All right, question number 3. Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus, that is the name of the song, was said to be inspired by which book? A, Elvis and Me. B, And Then There Were None. C, The Big Sleep. Or D, Woman in White. Depeche Mode, that's the name of the band. The song is Personal Jesus, was said to be inspired by which book? Black would look awesome in a bedroom. I don't know if you'd want a black light in a boy's bedroom, though. E, the Bible, of course. Regarding the fake YouTube plaque, this explains so much. I watch some channels and wonder how the heck they could have that many subs. There's an entire cottage industry out there, sis boomba, where they, if there's an award for something out there, you can buy, an Academy Award that'll have your actual name engraved on it. That says that you won an Academy Award, and it looks exactly like the Academy Award, and not like one of those cheap little plastic, souvenirs. You want a Pulitzer Prize, if you want that plaque, or how about a Nobel Peace Prize? You can get them all, and have background. YouTube awards, that's the lowest thing on the totem pole. The same that then. Originally, the factory that made the YouTube awards, originally the first iteration of them, what you could get buy the actual award from that actual factory. Now they've since moved their production, and they've make them a lot cheaper now. Now it's just an etching on glass, and you could buy the same kit to do all of it at a craft store. So it's a piece of mirror, YouTube play button, like a triangle on it, and then some wording on glass that's etched in. I saw Depeche Mode at Madison Square Garden, New York. That'd be cool. I've never got a chance to see Depeche Mode play in concert. If anyone out there reads Elvis and Me, could they please explain where Elvis's pet name for Priscilla came from? I've wondered since the age. I have a friend with a YouTube skateboard. That's cool. I've never seen one of those. I've gotten all kinds of knickknacks, and Shotsky shit from YouTube, and I call it that because that's what it is. That they've been sent to me over the course of the last 3.5 years that I've been doing this. I have a pillowcase cover. It's white with a YouTube play button. Why YouTube thought that I would want that, I have no idea. Pencils, pens, notepad. Yeah, I get all kinds of really stupid things like that from YouTube all the time. It's usually about twice a year. I'll get like a package in the mail doesn't actually have the name of the actual company, YouTube, on it or anything. Just has a post office box, and it'll be stuff in a bubble mailer. It's just Shotsky stuff. But I've never seen a YouTube skateboard. That's cool. I could probably, find some use for something like that. Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus. The song was said to be inspired by which book? The correct answer for trivia question 3 is A. Elvis and Me. Was said to be the inspiration for the song Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Dexy's Midnight Runners got their name from Dexahydrine Speed. Now, I would not be surprised by that one at all. That's a good little piece of trivia, though. I've absolutely no idea. I have just read it. But Elvis and Me is what supposedly was the inspiration behind the song Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Question number 4. My friend plays guitar on YouTube, but is a skateboarder too. Well, that's cool. Question number 4. What jazz musician was called the Bent Trumpet along with Blind Jesus? What jazz musician was called the Bent Trumpet along with the Blind Jesus? Is it A. Chet Baker, B. Miles Davis, C. Dizzy Gillespie, or D. Louis Armstrong? Or Louis, for those who prefer. He preferred, when someone asked him his name, he called himself Louis, even though his name is Louis. But he called himself Louis. Oh, yeah, Skedinona. Yeah. It was a diet pill, but they also included it in rations and empties to keep soldiers awake. Did a lot of interviews. Stevie Wonder, Blind Jesus. Prince Louis. Brooks is going with B. Miles Davis. What jazz musician was called the Bent Trumpet, along with Blind Jesus? Love Me Like Music 7 says B. No idea. I had no idea. Yeah. You just have to take things like, don't get upset about how somebody pronounces things differently. Dialects pronounce, things differently. I mean, we may all be saying the same word, but it may sound differently to someone else because it pronounce it. They hear it said differently, or so it's different. That's part of the things. I get people all the time who pick on me because of my dialect, and I've worked really hard on not talking like my family and how I've grown up talking. In between words, when you're talking, like our speech pattern, we say yeah, uh-huh, and you betcha. That's that. Try taking something like that, all of that out of your complete pattern. It's not something wrong, and it's not even something you think about whenever I'm talking normally. And if I get around my family, you'll catch on really quickly that I have been family recently, because you pick it right back up and immediately. But whenever you're talking and you come to it like an end of a thought, or a sentence, or you need to bring in more air, like take a breath of air, you'll end it with yeah, mm-hmm, you betcha, or one of those, or all of them. Drives people nuts. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? Don't know. The only thing my grandma from Mexico would say in English was, "Yeah, bet your life." Still no idea. All right, what jazz musician was called the Bent Trumpet, along with the Blind Jesus? For question number 4, the correct answer is C, as in cat. Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy Gillespie was called the Bent Trumpet, or the Blind Jesus. Question number 5. True or false? Freddie Mercury, the lead singer of Queen, said his vocal range came from having extra teeth. True or false? Miss Murder, Australia. Good evening, sweetheart. Sorry I can't stay. Going to get a booster. Pop in and say hello. Well, good evening. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you stay safe out there, sweetheart. With no eyes, no legs, and no tally whacker. Mama Bear, good evening. I don't know what do you call it? Still no effing idea. What do you call that deer? Freddie Mercury, lead singer of Queen, said his range came from having extra teeth. True or false? Sandy Lee, good evening and welcome to Music Trivia. That's the worst. Also, you'll know what I mean. And okay, after every stupid sentence drives me nuts. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Yeah. It's like in the 1980s when everybody started, well, at least where I was, I can't say everybody, but they picked up that Valley Girl talk. You guys remember that? That drove me nuts. like for sure. Embarrassing confession. I didn't know he was Indian until he died. All right, question number 5. Freddie Mercury, lead singer of Queen, said his vocal range came from having extra teeth. The correct answer is A. Apple. It is true. This is why he refused to have the extra teeth that he had removed, and he also refused to get any dental work done because he was afraid it would affect his vocal range and his ability to sing. Well, I'm glad you could be here with us, Sandy. All right, question number 6. If I can move my cursor over to the other screen, there it is. All right, question number 6. Excuse me. July 17th, 1967. Jimi Hendrix ended his show doing what so the entire crowd could see? Hint, he was touring with the Monkees. Was it A, he urinated, B, flipped off the crowd, C, pulled out his wang, you get what that's referencing, or D, he shot up heroin? What did Jimi Hendrix do at the end of his concert on July 17th, 1967? Scout and Clara will be right back. E, banana. He ate a banana. The whole world wanted to watch him eat a banana. He was touring with the Monkees. First off, I never knew that Jimi Hendrix was, the opening act for the Monkees. Part of that entire tour, the Jimmy only lasted for 9 shows. He do 16, but half of those 9 shows obviously not an exact 50%, but about 50% of the shows, he opened for the Monkees, and the other half of them, the Monkees opened for Jimmy. Davy Jones, thunderbolts and lightning. Is that what the weather is there where you are, Samantha? 27 Club. Yeah. July 17th, 1967. Jimi Hendrix ended his show doing what so the entire crowd could see? You're singing? I don't know, but he didn't finish the tour. This is true. He only completed 9 of the actual stops that he was supposed to make. What did Jimmy do? July 17th, 1967. Beautiful clear day here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, 54 degrees. Heat wave for us. We got up to 46 degrees today where I am. So, but a lot of my friends are out right now, probably having one too many adult beverages and watching the Super Bowl. I don't care about that stuff. Well, I mean, I don't care about these two teams. I mean, I like football. I like watching it, but all right, July 17th, 1967. How did Jimi Hendrix end his show so the entire crowd could see? The correct answer is B as in boy. He flipped off the entire crowd. Two giant middle fingers to everybody in the crowd. And then he turned and walked off stage with him and his guitar. I'd rather watch the Puppy Bowl. Amy, you're not into sports. No worries. It will snow by this weekend, I'm sure. Yeah, you never know down there. But Jimi Hendrix on July 17th, 1967, flipped off the crowd and then turned around and walked off stage after he was done playing. Not in front of the tube? Yeah. Not that. B as in boy was the correct answer. Questions number 7. Question number 7. The band Linkin Park had a very different name up to the date of they signed their very first recording contract. What was it? Was it A, Sunny Day, B, 10 Net 10-01, C, Zero, or D, Monster Clown? The contract, you might be able to find an actual picture of it online if you Google this. They actually crossed out the name of the original band and then wrote in Linkin Park over the top, just above it, on the actual contract itself. You might be able to find an image of this. But which one of these is what they changed their name? What they crossed out and then they wrote in right above it, Linkin Park. What was the name of their band before? All they signed that recording contract. My cat's being a nut. He's playing with the fake tree. Yes, happy birthday, Mama Bear. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama Bear. Happy birthday to you. My fur babies have been missing a week. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully your fur baby comes back. Sis Boom Ba says, I know it's C. Bananarama. Mama Bear says it's C. It's C. The band Linkin Park had a very different name up to the date they signed their very first recording contract. What was it? Question number 7. The correct answer is C. C, it was Zero. Zero was the name of their band. It changed it. Doll Factory, good evening and welcome. I hope you had a wonderful week, Doll Factory, and glad you could be here with us. All right, question number 8. True or false? Is it true that that classical music composer Joseph Haydn has 2 skulls in his coffin? True or false? Is it true the classical music composer Joseph Haydn has 2 skulls in his coffin? Two skulls. I mean, obviously the man only one head, right? There's got to be something going on there if there's even a possibility of 2 skulls. How could you get 2 skulls? I will explain if it's true or not afterwards. Say A because otherwise there's no question. True or false? Is it true that classical music composer Joseph Haydn has 2 skulls in his coffin? And repeat C, no, but he has 2 foreheads. Haydn. Okay. Haydn, Hayden, whichever. Well, good. I'm glad you're doing well, Doll Factory. I'm glad you could be here with us. Quell says false. All men have 2 heads, but can only logically think with one. Da-da-dun. Rim shot for Mama Bear with her. You taking off purple? Well, you have a week ahead, and thank you for joining us tonight. You stay safe out there. Okay, true or false that classical music composer Joseph, however you want to pronounce his last name or say it, has 2 skulls in his coffin? The correct answer is A. It is true. There are 2 skulls in his coffin. Now, how did that happen? How did 2 skulls end up in his coffin? Well, grave robbery back then when he passed away was very common. His head actually stolen out of his coffin. And before the grave robbers could steal the rest of his remains, when they finally got to it and they exhumed the rest of his body, then they put it off and they reburied him. They put marble slab over the top of. He did not have his original. He had another head that was a donation of another. So they buried that with just because it was all bones by then when it happened, when the grave robbery happened. But years later, in 1953, his head actually turned up in an inventory sheet originally, and they actually went and looked at the box, and sure enough, it was his skull that was in there. In 1954, they exhumed his body again, and then put his original head back in with the rest of his body. but they forgot to remove the donated skull that had been in there all those years. So that's how two skulls ended up in the coffin in the cemetery with him. So it is true. There are two skulls with his body. Question number 9. Who is the oldest person to ever top the UK Billboard charts as of 2021? Was it A, Louis Armstrong, or Louis Armstrong as he called himself, Cher, C, Tom Jones, or D, Benny Hill? Who is the oldest person to ever top the UK Billboard as of 2021? Mine is a domestic short hair and all black as well. Mama Bear's cat. And well, obviously, domestic short hair. Kind of like Catherine Parr. Yeah. Monty Python. His name is Tom Jones. Must be like 193 by now. He's up there. How old? Who? Oh, well, no. How old? Who is the oldest person to ever top the UK Billboard charts as of 2021? Now, the record could have happened at any point before 2021. So don't think it happened in 2021. It could happen anywhere before then. But who was for the person who actually was the top of the Billboard charts? Oldest person to ever top the UK Billboard charts. Sandy Lee, Love Bunny Hill. Samantha says, he must be 194. Sorry. Yeah, Cher is definitely getting up there herself. None of us are getting any younger. Some of us are aging with grace, and some of us not so much. Tom Jones has had a lot of plastic surgery. Not as much as some others, but he's had some. A possibility. It's not unusual to live to 193. I reckon Cher has to avoid sunbeds now. Probably avoids all of it. What they say, the good die young, right? That's why we have the 27 Club. Tom Jones has a lot of knickers. Yeah. I watched the documentary about Tom Jones and Don Ho and their heydays, and just how many women would show up to concerts and throw their underwear on the stage. I don't know how that ever started, but that's a peculiar, thing. I mean, Don Ho, bubbles. But it happens. Marie York. Good evening, Marie. I hope you had a wonderful week. Marie is going with C, Tom Jones. I don't find him sexy. Tom Jones or Don Ho or any of these people on here on this list. This is much better than the Super Bowl, but those who don't mind football, Bengals are kicking butt 24/7 last I looked. Well, that's good to know. For thumbs up for our friend Will. Don't thank you, Interpiece. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. All right, the answer to question number 9. Who is the oldest person to ever top the UK Billboard charts? The correct answer is C. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. He did it at the age of 68 and 3/4. So he was almost 9 years old when he topped the UK Billboard charts. Unfortunately, it did not give me the answer to what song, but he was age 68 and 3/4 and he topped the Billboard charts in the UK. Excuse me. All right, question number 10. This is the prize question. Your 5 minutes starts right now. A standard violin manufacturer will season dry wood to make a violin for only a couple of years. How long is required to season the wood for a Gileli Mastero Elite violin or a Stradivarius violin? The correct answer must be in the form of blank years. You have 5 minutes. First person to answer it correctly wins. A standard violin manufacturer will season dry wood to make a violin for only a couple of years. How long is required for the wood of a Mastero, however you pronounce that, elite violin or a Stradivarius? The correct answer must be in the form of blank years. The obvious part is replaced by the number. How many years? Is going with 300. Sis Boom Ba 100. Doll Factory 27. Sketty Nona 150 to 200. Gone Girls going with 15. Amy's going with 3 to 4. Suzanne Myers is going with 7. Scottish Inquirer is going with 1. Samantha Mustard is going with 420. It's 420 somewhere. Smoke them if you got them. Smoke it if you got it. Gone Girl is 125. All right. Got 30 seconds left. Done. 420 knitting and trivia. Way better than the Super Bowl, isn't it? Oh, it's me. Monica Peterson. You got the correct answer. You won the trivia question. You have your choice of either $40 in cash or a $40 credit on an Amazon gift card. It is your choice. Monica, congratulations. You got the correct answer. And for everybody else, go back to the other screen and flip to the answer is 10 years, as Monica guessed. Is they suggested 10 years is the average, but 10 years is, I would take either 10 or 15 is the correct answer for either one. But she was the first one to answer 10. Now, Mary, you guessed originally 20 years, then you guessed 15 years, and then you guessed 120 or something like that. So I have to take the first answer that from the person who actually guessed it correctly. Lee says, however long it takes to make a Girl Gone Wild video. Girl Gone Wild. All right. Monica, I'm going to put an email address on the screen that will be there for the next 2 minutes. So get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil or pen and write down the email address that I'm about to put on the screen. I'll give you a couple minutes to get a piece of paper and a pen. I'm glad we finally got someone who got it right. Or screenshot it. You can screenshot it if you want. Either or. However she wants to write it down. But I'm going to put the email address on the screen. And then, Monica, it's up to you to send me an email so I can get a hold of you, so I can get you your winnings. Well, hello. I'm here. I just minimized myself in the little tiny window so we can actually see the trivia questions. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. You as well. I hope everyone out there has a wonderful and happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. I'm so happy, Monica. All right. So I'm going to put the email address on the screen. It'll be up for 2 minutes and then it's gone. So screenshot it, write it down, whatever, whichever works for you. And the next trivia question is on the screen now. Which member of the Beatles not only knew he had dyslexia, he found inventive ways around it to still write music? Which Beatles member had dyslexia? So you can already eliminate some members because it had past tense, so it's probably one that's dead. Which member of the Beatles not only knew he had dyslexia, he found inventive ways around it to still write music? The first lead singer before his brother took over. That's my son. He's a self-taught violinist. Plays like Lindsey Sterling now. He's 22 and started playing when he was 8. Wow. That is so cool. You must be a really proud. Was it Paul McCartney? We'll find out in just a minute. Excuse me. Excuse me. Again. Which member of the Beatles not only knew he had dyslexia, he found inventive ways around it to still write music? Now I understand people take this question, but that's the way the trivia question was worded on the site that I took it off of. I know you can still write, and everything else if you have dyslexia. My daughter has dyslexia. It doesn't make a person less intelligent or mean that they can't read and they can't write music. If you have that ability to do it. So I don't want people to think that I'm making fun of those with dyslexia. It's just how the trivia question was worded on the site that I took it off of. Which member of the Beatles? Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm trying to move my cursor from one screen to the next. And why it flips back and forth. John Lennon, he's dead. Which member of the Beatles not only knew he had past dyslexia, he found inventive ways around it to still write music? Could be any one of those that is dead. Question number 11. Which member of the Beatles not only knew he had sorry, I was kind of hoping that was the correct answer for question 11 is, as in dog, John Lennon. He's my pride and joy. Well, that's good, Mama Bear. I think we all should be more proud of our children and their accomplishments. But self-taught and violin, that's hard. My niece is the only one in all of my family I know of that ever took violin, and I tried to support that as much as I could. And I bought her first. It wasn't a professional, like violin, and when she was in high school, but she only played for a couple of years until other kids started picking on her for playing the violin. Unfortunately, that's what happened, and then she gave it up. But I tried to support it as much as I could. I think she was around 13 or so when she quit. But John Lennon had dyslexia, and he found inventive ways around it to still write music, and he didn't just write lyrics; he wrote and the actual music itself, the musical scores. So, but that's how the question was actually worded. Question number 12. Band found themselves in need of another singer-songwriter and put out a personal ad that read, looking for a macho, must have mustache and be a dancer. It's supposed to be dancer, not dance. It's supposed to be great dancer. Hopefully this doesn't take. There we go. Yay! I have 6 little darlings. 6, Samantha? It's a big family. I am one. See, I had 4 sisters, brother, and me, so 6 total. But there is my brother. We don't know what happened to him. He vanished in the 1970s, and then unfortunately I've lost one of my siblings. So I have one older sister that I know of, because obviously we don't know what happened to my brother. He was the oldest. And then I have one younger sister, and then well, 2 younger sisters. Love the Sun 100. Good evening. C. Hi, Will and chat. Good evening, Love the Sun. I hope you are having a terrific weekend. And thank you for joining us tonight. What band found themselves in need of another singer-songwriter and put out a personal ad that read, looking for a macho man, must have a mustache and be a great dancer, not dance, dancer. Suzanne Myers says, a Village People. Then we got C. Hi, Love the Sun. Love the Sun. Welcome. And I'll tell you in a minute here how I came upon this awesome trivia question. What band found themselves in need of another singer-songwriter and put out a personal ad? BBC is all repeats. 5 girls, 1 boy. Lucky 7 is my grandson. My brother passed at 30 years old, alcohol. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Samantha. New Kids on the Block. 37 years old. Wow. Still too young, Samantha. Still too young, even at 37. I'm sorry for your loss. All right. Band personal ad, looking for a macho man, must have answer. The correct answer is C, as in cat, the Village People. Put that out. How did I come across that trivia question? That question, actually, I never heard about that story until I was watching Lamont at Large. Lamont, he has two different YouTube channels. He has Fascinating Graveyards and Lamont at Large. And I do believe it was on Lamont at Large where he was going around, like he does in a cemetery, and he was talking about showing the tombstone of the individual. I can't remember what his real name was, but and talking about the actual story, and that made me fascinated to actually Google it and look it up. But Lamont told about the story, and that made me look up the actual rest of it. But that was what the personal ad said. You must be a macho man, have a mustache, and you must be a good dancer. And then, the address to apply to be a member of the band. And that's where the biker came from in the Village People. Lamont at Large. Love his channel, by the way. Both of them. Fascinating Graves and Lamont at Large. Okay. Question number 13. True or false? David Bowie was inducted into the short-lived UK Music Hall of Fame. Macho. He was the biker. He was a real biker. When he applied to the band, he had a real mustache. If that's what they were looking for. True or David Bowie was inducted to the short-lived UK Music Hall of Fame. Lamont is a legend. I never miss a video either on Fascinating Graves or Lamont. I'm watching Hollywood Graveyard as well, Hollywood Graves, but he doesn't put out content as Lamont does. Good content. It's just not as frequent. Susan Myers says, Jennifer, good evening to Music Trivia. My uncle passed away in 2012 from alcohol. I'm sorry about that, Mama Bear. I'm sorry for you. Alcohol kills more people than anything else. If it doesn't kill them from alcoholism, the medical side of alcohol abuse, drunk driving, and everything else that may be associated with it, kill a lot of people. Is anyone else having problems with the on the video? It's choppy at times. I hope it's not from my side. No. Mario, good evening, Mario. Welcome to Music Trivia. We are on, as you can see on the screen, Mario is going with B. And I hope you had a weekend, Mario. We have quite a bit in common, Samantha, for babies, family members. My fur baby sleeping on a chair now. Cutting in and out. Oh, I'm sorry. I watch faces. I think thinking. Oh, I haven't met forgotten faces. I'll look that up. Foreign twin. Well, I'm sorry if you're having issues with the reception of the stream. I could do a out at that. I'm streaming using two different internet programs. I'm on Charter, Spectrum, on Ziply. Both of them, I have 5 out of 5. So I'm really sorry. Maybe it's your mic, Will. For the amount of money I spent, stupid mic, it better not be. I just bought the thing like 2 weeks ago. I mean, I think the cheapest part of this entire setup is probably Amazon base mic stand. Is Monica still around? If you're out there, Monica, something. I still haven't received an email from you. No sound, Will? Anita, good evening, sweetheart. I hope you were having a wonderful day and you had a great weekend. All right, true or false? David Bowie was inducted into the short-lived UK Music Hall of Fame. The correct answer is B. David Bowie was not inducted in the short-lived Music Hall of Fame in the UK. He was not. You would think he would have been, but he wasn't. Question number 14. I'm sorry, Morris Day, but you were not the original lead singer for the band The Time. Who was the lead singer? Was it A, Andy White, B, Bob Marley, C, Alice Cooper, or D, Prince? Number 14. Anna Baker says Prince. P said Daddy Tomato. Catch P. Thank you. I hope everybody is enjoying, and I hope you give this a thumbs up if you do. If you don't, make sure you click that thumb, but do it twice. Now there's no audio at all. Can you hear me? Yes or no? My little graph shows, says that my audio is working. It's showing the little bars as I talk, going up and down. I'm sorry, Mama Bear. Hope it starts working. I'm sorry, Morris Day, but you were not the original lead singer for the band The Time. Who was the original lead singer? Audio is choppy. Music of me like music 70. Inner Peace says, man, because I got I know that I've been for a while, but I join when I can. Well, Anita, I'm just happy that you're safe. Everything's going as good as it can. And thank you for being Anita. I appreciate it. But still choppy. I'm sorry, Mama Bear. Sing it, because I got high. I was going to clean my room high. I was going to pay my child support, but I got high. Yeah, da, da, da. Oh, thank you, Anita. That was really nice of you to do that. I appreciate that. Just for the super chat, I appreciate it a lot. Love the Sun 100. I just like to hear Will sing. I can't sing, but I can, man, because it's not really singing all that much. All right, question number 14. The correct answer is D as in dog. It was Prince. Prince was the original lead singer of the band The Time, and then May took over later on. But Prince was the first lead singer of the band The Time. Question number 15. Which member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers once had what should be had not has had Cher as a babysitter? Which the Red Hot Chili Peppers once had Cher as a babysitter? Was it A. Flea, B. Chad Smith, C. Josh Klinghoffer, or D. Anthony Kiedis? Kiedis? How do you pronounce that? I don't know. A, B, C, or D? Kiedis? Yeah. I just bought my son a Red Hot Chili Peppers shirt from Retro Tees. Something, I think that's the name of the company. Retro Tees. I just bought him a t-shirt from there for Red Peppers. I've never even been much of a fan of their music over the years, but buy him a Johnny Cash one, but I couldn't find the the t-shirt I was looking for in a small. So he's really like long like legs, but boy's gonna be tall. He's already half his mom, and he's only 5 years old. Half as tall as his mom already. He's by far the tallest kid in his entire class. When they come after school, and I'm there to pick him up. It's hard to see him. He's a good head taller than every other kid in his classroom. You saw them in the 8th grade? That'd be cool. From it. But yeah, that on B. Hi, I'm Iowa. Anthony. Going with D. Inner Peace is going with E. Justin Bieber. Didn't her daughter's son pass recently? Um, that's Chaz Bono. I don't know. I hope not. Which original member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers had Cher as a babysitter? The correct answer is D, as in dog. Anthony Anthony D is the correct answer for number 15. Number in 1985, with millions in the bank, Michael Jackson made some questionable purchases. Yes, he did. One smart purchase, though, was he purchased the entire musical catalog of which band artist? Was it A, Diana, B, The Beatles, C, The Rolling Stones, or D, B.B. King? In 1985, with millions in the bank, Michael Jackson made some very questionable purchases. Very. He spent money like there was no damn tomorrow. But he purchased the entire musical catalog of which band artist? I'm just guessing. One with A, Diana Ross. We got B, the Beatles. Janet Jackson. Colorado Springs. Welcome. I hope you are having a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. We are on question 16 of 20. Quite a few left still. Well, 4. 1985, with millions in the bank, Michael Jackson made some very questionable purchases. One smart was the entire musical catalog, which band artist. Love music. F. Betty Blue. I'm watching the Super Bowl 16-20 Cincy. Yeah. My phone keeps on giving me a while, but welcome, Betty Blue. Betty Blue. B, the B. All right. The answer for question C, ladies and gentlemen, is B, as in the Beatles. He outbid his best friend, Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney bid $45 million. He bid $46 million to purchase the entire catalog of music songs that were Beatles. And it was a hell of an investment. Because time Paul McCartney or of the members of the estate wanted to release those on CD or a compilation or a set or anything, Michael Jackson made money on it. Now, later on, he did sell some of the songs back to Paul, but for the large majority of it, though, he kept the rights of it until his passing. Still, the Michael Jackson still owns a good portion of the Beatles. So they still own the actual rights to it. The estate does. All right, that was in 1985. And some of the other things that Michael Jackson spent money on were just ridiculous. He bought an entire train, like engine part of a train, an entire train, and then had it taken apart and disassembled, and then put back together and restored from the ground up. It never made it to the Never. The entire train still sits right where it was, at the time of his death. It's sitting in a city, some town in Ohio or something like that, but it's still there. They put it on the city park. It's a huge train, but he spent a lot of money on a lot of weird stuff. All right, question number 17. Do you recall the band Yes? You'll know this answer then. What country are they from originally? Excuse me. A, France. B, United States. C, Germany. The United Kingdom. Zelda. Zelda. How are you doing, sweetheart? Pop to say hello. Can't stay. Will. Feeling better. Not as busy with life. And I'm sorry about the loss of your friend. Good night, Raquel. Thank you for stopping in playing trivia with us. D says, love me like music. Mario's going with C. Oh, yeah. Thanks, all, but it was very sad, but COVID's not a good thing here in our area. So, I'm sorry, Zelda. I really am. Kathy is going with D. Betty Blue. France? Could be France. We will find out here shortly. Do you recall the band? Yes. I know of the band Yes until Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was the first time I ever heard of the band Yes. I'm not kidding. Because they played their song when it just got his butt kicked by the dog and his sister, and then he school bus, and he sits down. Little girl reaches in her pocket out a gummy bear and hands it to him. Goes, it's nice and soft all day. When she goes to hand him that gummy bear, they start playing the song by Yes. I never heard of them until then. Anyway, I've heard a lot of their music since then, but that was my first introduction to Yes. The song was Yellow or something like that. Boom boom chuck chuck chuck. Save Ferris Bueller. Yeah. Save Ferris. You're breaking up voice wise on my end. I'm sorry, Betty. That's been happening. I'm really sorry about that. There's nothing I can my end. My voice thing on my screen here shows that I'm actually talking, but Ferris put baby in the corner. I'm really sorry it's glitching though. All right, question 17. The correct answer is D as in dog. Baby yuck. Got it just in time there with D. Welcome to Music Trivia. Question number 18. Don't put baby in the corner. Yep. They say the band Green Day is punk rock. How many awards have they won as a punk band? A, 0, B, 8, C, 1, or D, 2. Hint, rock and roll isn't punk. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Miss Patrick Swayze. He was a good actor. I'm not knowing. Anna Baker says 0. Love Son 0. Love Me Like Music is going with D. 2. Correct. A. Repeat. Question number 18. They say the band Green Day is a band rock. How many awards have they won as a punk? The correct answer A, 0. As a punk band, they never won a single award. Now, as a rock and roll, they've won a couple of Grammys and stuff like that as the rock and roll band. That's punk rock. It's a splitting hairs question, but still. Question number 9. Who released the critically acclaimed album Testing 2018? Welcome, Nancy. There is no category for punk answers. Answer A, besides they are post-punk. Just good point. All right, question number 19. Who released the critically acclaimed album Test in 2018? Was it A, Dave Navarro, B, A$AP Rocky, C, Janet Jackson, or D, Milli Vanilli? E, School of Rock. Who released critically acclaimed testing in 2018? Being no clue. No clue. I have no clue on this one. Who released the critically acclaimed testing in 2018? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy, A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky released the album Testing in 2018. All right, question 20. Last question for tonight. What movie did Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? Was it A, Live Let Die, B, Less Than Zero, C, Beverly Hills Cop, or D, Footloose? What movie did Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? Leslie, good evening and welcome. Sorry if I missed you earlier, Leslie. What about Bob? Bob. Leslie's 007. What movie Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? I hope you had a terrific weekend, Leslie. Live and Let Die. Less Than Zero. That was Robert Downey Jr. Less Than Zero. Good movie. Tragic tale. Beverly Hills. And how can you go wrong with a movie like Footloose? That was a great movie. Kevin Bacon. Weekend at Bernie's. It's been non-eventful, just perfect. Well, that's good. Now we all need weekends like that. We all do. I would love to have a non-eventful weekend. What movie did Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? Those shoes, everybody footloose. Got a footloose. Think we'll ever have movies like that again? Like Roadhouse, Footloose. Think we'll ever movies like that again? In 25 years from now, our kids today, are young adults, are they looking on movies, that came out during their life and saying, "Ah, hey, yeah, Avatar came out," or whatever, whatever movie it's been. I mean, will they ever have, a pack, of the stars from the 80s? Sam Elliott. Yeah, talk about a voice. Sam Elliott. He doesn't hurt the eyes either. Sam, that rough tumble, that voice. I tried to convince mine to watch the Goonies. Yeah, I tried that, Samantha. I tried to get my daughter to watch the movie The Outsiders, and she watched it and she didn't get it. She didn't get the movie at all. I mean, she's like, "Who are these people?" And then it's like, "Oh my God, You don't know who any of these people are? She didn't get it all. She's like, I don't understand why everybody being so mean to him. And it's different, it's a different time, and how something better today than they did. But too much CGI makes life boring. My favorite was Moonstruck, Cher, and Beetlejuice. The juice. Beetlejuice. Where's he at? I said it. Where's he at? Breakfast Club. It's so sad. It saddens me that a kid. The Breakfast Club. 16 Candles. The Molly Ringwald. But what movie did Paul McCartney and the Wings record music for? The correct answer is A as in apple. To Live, Let Die. Paul McCartney and the Wings recorded the actual song Live or Let Die, the title song for the 007 bomb. That's the all 20 trivia questions, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I've tried to do stuff that try to get my daughter to watch some of the movies that we so enjoyed growing up, or when we were younger. Me and my wife, we were teens, but not interested in it. I'm hiding in my room. All the boys are in the basement watching the game. This is a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining. We have a chance to learn something, and yeah, it had with something too. Monica got the trivia question right. I'm waiting for her to email me. Haven't email yet from Monica. Thanks, Beetlejuice is running around in my house. Will Trivia Sundays are always good. I'm glad you enjoy them. Love the sun. Glad that you're here. Sam, could I read the phone book? Read the phone books. Sam, read the phone book. Sam Elliott, read the phone book to you. That'd be enjoyable. Just listening to his voice. You taking off, Mario? You have a great week, Mario. Thank you again for being here with us. Hope you have a great week and you enjoyed this trivia. The best show Monday is 411 Music. Thank you. Love me. Music 7. I appreciate that. Fought you for. Enjoyable time. I wouldn't have it any other way. I look forward to these music. Fortunately, I couldn't do my Saturday morning stream because I had to give a statement to the police department. So, and that, well, what took the actual 10 minutes to actually, speak with the officer, my statement, I was there for three and a half hours right in there, just waiting because when it came in, we had to check in and they gave us a number and they had to speak to each and every person individually that they had on a list from the surveillance. Sean Connery. awesome week. Suzanne Myers, weekend, and sweet Valentine's Day. Sweet Valentine's to you as well, Suzanne. Thank you for being here. I hope the rest of your week on top of Valentine's Day is uneventful and joyful. Kathy, be back. I'll be back. Walter Matthau was your crush. Walter Matthau, Odd Couple. I mean, maybe I'm just maybe you're a younger, more vibrant Walter Matthau, because when he was on the Odd Couple, our friend Will. Well, thank you, Walter. Very nice group of. Yes, we are. I hope we are. We do try to keep most of the trolls away. Uh, they do pop in every once in a while. We take care of it when they do. Treat others as the way we would ourselves. So, message. Happy Valentine's Day from Belfast. You have a safe Valentine's Day tomorrow, Samantha, or today. Okay. Talking about the owl, you met Jack Klingman? Wow, that'd be cool. I've never met any famous actors. I've met some people who were famous and I didn't know they were, and apparently that was the best thing for them that I didn't know. I was traveling once, and because of a snow and ice storm, I got to sit and talk with John Elway, the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Now I think he's like the general manager Broncos or something like that. But I got to meet him and I sit and talk with him for about an hour because we were going from one area to another, to continue because I mean all the airports and everything were closed, but the only thing that was working, the moving people was the Amtrak. But I had no idea who he was. I just sat and talked about anything and everything, but football never came up. It was never one of those things that's like, oh, he told me who he was. I just talked to him like anybody, and apparently that was like the best thing for him because I didn't make a big deal about who he was. Like I had no idea who he was. I really didn't. Till after he left, it was like, I can't believe you were talking to Elway. I'm like, well, whatever. If I ever get to America and see you, I don't know how I once knew you before your fame. Well, it's the same way if I ever were to again. I want to go back, and see my family. I still have family in Northern. I got family in Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland. But most of those in Scotland are most of the family that married into the family. They're not from my father's side of the family. I saw a pumping gas in San Bruno. Wow, that'd be cool. I've I've had meet me before in the at the grocery store. I've never met a fan of mine at a gas station yet. I've met them at a hardware store, grocery store. Um, yeah, but I'm always if anybody ever sees me out there in the wild, stop by, say hello. I'm always up to meeting people. Fergus, like the song. Well, what is it with me in stores, right? The same place that I met the fans before is the same place that I had where I was there when the shooting happened. Same store. Well, I mean, I met the fans on one day, completely separate from when the shooting. Same store though. I go to that store so much. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. It doesn't matter what you're going to the store for. They have everything. My father used to drive a cab in college, and he used to drive Paul Newman's maid to Paul Newman's, and he used to go into the house, and Paul would pay the fare. That's cool. Merv Griffin's niece married my neighbor's son. He was on my street. That's cool. I'm related to. It's a long twisted relation, but by marriage, I'm related to people who are related to Tom Selleck. It's all by marriage, but 6 degrees of separation. It could happen. You might be related to something you don't even know it that's famous. But I'm related to Paul. I'm related to Tom Selleck by marriage through my wife's side of the family by marriage. Blue Bloods. Oh my, the Paul's Blue as Newman. Went to school with Dave Keith. David Keith. I'm on a blank on who David Keith is, Leslie. I know I should know the name, but I'm drawing a blank on it. I had a dream that Tom Selleck in the '80s. He was in a store in the live to pay line to pay, just behind me. That was it. That was my Tom dream. I saw David Hasselhoff get drunk with a bunch of sailors at a restaurant in Santa Cruz. We all pretended he wasn't there. Magnum PI. Oh, okay, yeah. Tom Selleck. My grandmother is descendant of Kahanas. Wow. Officer and a gentleman. Officer and a gentleman. When I was as a teenager, I originally I took a job as a dishwasher at this little mom and pop restaurant, and the lady who had the restaurant, she really needed the cook who was working for her quit. So I mean, the place only sat maybe 30 people total. It was a small restaurant. and she needed another cook, and she needed somebody to to train to be a breakfast cook as well. And she asked me if I wanted to learn, and I was like, sure. I mean, if it pays more than being a dishwasher, I don't like washing dishes. She used to own the run at Anacortes or wherever it was, where all the movie and bar scenes and the movie Officer and a Gentleman was filmed. And she had her and Richard Gere and the entire cast. They went to her actual restaurant every day, and she fed them throughout the course of the making of the movie. But she had a lot of memorabilia. It was all over the place in the restaurant that she had. The entire place is gone now a parking lot. But it was really cool to be able to see that. Hey, look at all these pictures. She had a lot of pictures from like behind the scenes. Especially with Richard Gere. He has a fascination, or at least he did back then. He had a fascination with eating healthy, and he really liked beet, like the beet salad. So she would make salad every day. Made me a little. I'm too scared to put my DNA into a search. I've never done it myself. My daughter's done it. My wife has done the 23andMe, the DNA profile lookup. My daughter was like, "Really, Dad? The DNA I got from you, what? It's almost all Irish and a little bit of German. What a nice mix." Beets are an acquired taste. You guys are all the best. Thank you all. Thank you, Samantha. I'm afraid I'm afraid of familial cases. You find out that there's somebody else out there that's wanted for something. Billy Joel was Christy there too. I won't name to a company, says Amy. As in beetroot. I never asked her if it was beet or the beets, the vegetable. I would assume it says in the vegetable that she used to make him a beet salad every day. She just for him. But she had all kinds of stories of like, that she had shared in letters and stuff. She kept in contact with a lot of the people from the movie. And over the years, before she opened the restaurant that I met with her, she was the owner. But her mother used to come in every morning. It was this little tiny Italian lady. The lady been more than 5 foot tall. Her mom, but she would come in every single and make bread products. Didn't matter if it was hamburger buns or rolls or loaves of bread. This little old lady, she was in her 90s, in fact, and she would come in every day and make all the bread every day from scratch. And anything that was left over at the end of the day, she was just like, take it home. If you don't take it home, I'm throwing it away. So that was one of the fringe benefits of working there. Was like we got all the bread we wanted for free. That whatever's left over at the end of the day, it didn't matter what kind of bread it was. But this little old lady would make the bread every day from scratch. I dye paper pink with the juice. Avocados work too. My daughter makes her own paper. David Keith was Sid Worley, the country boy that didn't quit make it to the end of the movie. Didn't quite make it to the end of the movie. Oh. But that smell of she used to make the bread. I'd come in and the smell of fresh sourdough bread coming out of the oven. She would get there. I'd get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we had to be open by 8 for breakfast. She'd get there at like 4 in the morning. This little old lady in her 90s would get there every day, and she'd just make bread. And then when she was done making bread, and what she made for the day, if there wasn't enough, that's it. That's all the bread we have, because she made it all from scratch. Metal singers in the 50s and 60s at the Bull Run Jamboree. They had big singers there every summer. Well, that's cool. Jonathan Swift, Gulliver's Travels. Lives in Carrickfergus. Oh, and it went by before I could finish reading it. He based the story on the Cave Hill Mountains. Well, that's cool, Samantha. I didn't know that. I'm always crafting, keep my demons at bay, because some people manage to exceed limits of my medication. It has an entire craft room, Samantha, of it, but we call it where projects go to die. She's finished a lot of projects, but I always joke around that she's got a million other projects that are in there that just never quite get finished. I need to have a toast. My kids say my house looks like a 5-year-old's bedrooms. Oh yes, half finished projects. Yeah. HFPs, half finished projects. 5 girls, 1. Wow. I don't know how anybody does it. I got 2. Our daughter is 20 and our son is 5. Same mom, same dad, but 18 years apart. But I don't know. One at a time is more than enough for me. And my heart, it goes out to each and every one of you who can do it. That many children. I mean, there was at the point when I was a little tyke, there was 5 of us. Because my brother he would be 16 years older than me, almost 17 years older than me. So there's a long range between all of us, between the youngest and the old. My mama and daddy were busy for a lot of years. I have a 4-year-old grandson, Mason, here at the moment. He has just made a pink hearts with pink paint in his hands. That's cool. My city is sometimes referred to as a Hollywood East. A lot of films are made there. The actors love it. No one bothers. Well, that's cool. We have where I live here. We have a very vibrant independent movie like scene. A lot of independent movies, and some of it is like sort of split between all different kinds of genres, in the independents. But some sci-fi, a lot of more high-tech CG kind of movies, because there's a huge amount of computer-based, development here. It's not like Silicon Valley, but there's a lot of engineers and who are here with the different degrees that in the positions. So they're trying to do more. Spaghetti westerns, all dubbed but cheap and entertaining. Oh, that's cool. I've seen some pretty good some spaghetti westerns. Good. There's some there. You don't get starstruck. There's some that I would definitely go all fanboy on if I ever starstruck. I respect people, but don't get all excited and want photos. People are people. Nice is nice. First big movie was Silence of the Lambs. There have been many since. Well, that's cool. Jodie Foster. I think Jodie Foster was perfect for that role though. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing Clarice. A nice bottle of Chianti and some fava beans. Since Bugsy, Clarice, do you hear the lambs? What was it? Red Dragon? The no, Red Dragon wasn't a sequel, was it? Yeah, I liked Red Dragon, but don't forget, ladies, put the lotion in the basket. Do it, Buffalo Bill. God. Bugsy Malone of the Delphi kidnapper. Wayne Mario. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up here. I really do appreciate every one of you being here for music trivia. We will be back at it next Sunday again. If you're new here, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, PDT. So, judge accordingly to whatever your time zone is. But if the same 20 questions, all multiple choice, we will have a prize question again next week. Starts off at $10, and it works its way up. Like today, we did have one winner finally, and she won it at 40. So it starts over again. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead, and you stay safe out there because we are all living in some really weird times right now. But thank you again, everyone. Good night, America. Same time next week. Yep, every week, every Sunday. Even if it's a Super Bowl or whatever, none of that's going to matter. Still want to play trivia. We want to enjoy a relaxing time with friends on the internet. I mean, we got to find someplace safe. So, thank you again. Well, please, did police question you yesterday about the shooting? Yes, inner peace. They asked me. I had to fill out a statement, and then after I filled out the statement, and he asked me a couple questions about where I was, and what I had seen, which was kind of odd because they already had still photographs of the scene and what was taking place, and you could see me in it. I'm like right here, and the shooter was right here, so that was scary. I had no idea that I was that close to it because when I got to the end of the aisle and I looked to my left towards like the meat department, I saw a commotion down there, so that's where I figured it was. So that'd be about 50, 70 yards from me. Apparently, I was maybe 20 or less, and even probably about 15 feet from the shooter. So yeah, so am I. They're still closed. I don't know what's going to happen. They said that initially Kroger, Fred Meyer said that they're going to be closed for until the investigation was finished, and they're still closed today. I mean, I don't know what all the employees are doing. I don't know if they're taking care of them or what. I know that for the the one guy who died, between part and the community, his GoFundMe is around $120,000 right now, for his family and to pay for his funeral expenses. And the other gentleman, Mike Hall, I think he has two different GoFundMe's for him, one just and one for his rehabilitation. And I think those are around 75,000. So, I mean, as for the community, we're stepping up and we're trying to take care of the two families. So, anyways, whatever you all do, you stay as well, Samantha. And thank you again for joining us, everybody. You all have a terrific week and happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I will see you again next week. Next weekend.